Good morning, Colorado Springs. Hey, I think that's the most awake on the first good morning and all weekend, but it's still, some of you are still asleep. I know it's a holiday weekend, but let's try that again. Good morning, Colorado Springs. There you go. Hey, welcome to Military Day, presented by USAA. We are here. This is session number 5. This is year number 48 for the Labor Day liftoff. And we'd like to get things officially kicked off this morning, starting with our national anthem. Sung for us this morning by Curtis Brisby.
Oh, say, can you sleep by the dawn's early light? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Curtis Brisby, thank you very much. It's a great way to get us started here on Military Day, as we said, presented by USAA. And here to welcome us from USAA, John Morley.
Good morning, Colorado Springs. My name is Judge Rowley. I'm an Executive Director of Application Development from the USAA office right here in our hometown. We are honored to be the presenting sponsor of Military Monday at the Colorado Springs Labor Day liftoff. As USAA, our mission is to serve the military community and their families. Events like this one that allow us to show up in the communities we serve and show our heartfelt appreciation for our members and all those who have stood tall for our nation. This includes our military, veterans, as well as their spouses and children. We know it's a family effort to serve, and we thank you for your dedication to our country. If you're unfamiliar with USAA, our mission is to empower the members to achieve financial security through highly competitive products, exceptional service, and price. We seek to be the #1 choice for the military community and their families. You can find more at usa.com/join. You may also notice some signage today that highlight career opportunities at USAA. Wherever you are in life, a college graduate, a seasoned professional, a veteran, or a military spouse, you can join our team in making a difference. Visit usa.com/careers to find out more. Again, welcome to Military Monday presented by USAA, and thank you all for coming out.
Appreciate USAA for being our day sponsor, our Military Day here at Labor Day liftoff. So I attended pilot's briefing this morning and listened to the weather report. And you know what? They told us it was another great day for flying here. But before we get to that, I want to bring one more person up to the stage here. You know, we can't do this with those types of things. One of the ones that's been with us for a number of years is KKTV News 11. And here to say good morning to you from KKTV is Blake. Good morning, Blake.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all out here. My name is Blake Salmon. I am the weekend evening co-anchor for your weekend shows. Myself and Grace Kramer with the sun. We're so excited to be a part of this event and to see you all out here today. So thank you for coming out, and I'm excited to have a great day with you all. Please stop by our booth. We're right over by the win some great prizes. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Blake. All righty. So if you've been here the last couple of mornings, you know that we have done hare and hound competition races, if you will. It's not really so much a race as who gets there first. It's all about accuracy. We would send off one balloon and they would fly off. They'd have like a 10-minute head start, and then half the field would chase them and attempt to drop some markers on there. We're not doing competition today, so we don't have a hare and hound. We're just going to do 2 waves of balloons. We've got about 80 balloons here in the field. It's a little tight for 80 balloons, so we split them in half, and we send half of them off, and then we send the other half off. And of course, even the wave kind of goes off in rows. Because we're aircraft, we need to have some airspace around us. So we'll be sending them off throughout, but it'll take us just a little while to get them off. So the first step in the process, I'm a hot air balloon pilot, have been for a long time. I announce a number of balloon rallies, including Albuquerque, and this is my 8th year here at Labor Day liftoff in Colorado Springs. The process here is going to be that the first wave of balloons are already starting to pull the equipment out of the trailer or off the truck. They'll pull them out. Some burner tests. Uh-oh. Yeah, just stand here. You hear those whistles? Yeah, you can't do a balloon rally without whistles. These guys right in front of the stage here. They're in the referee outfits, the zebra outfits. We call them zebras. Technically, they are our launch directors. And we'll talk more about them as they get out there and get in position. But what's going to happen here, it's already starting to happen out there. Our pilots and crews are stretching out their envelopes and getting their baskets off. They're going to hook the appropriate. I suspect, actually, I'm surprised I haven't seen a burner go off yet. Someone will get it fired off quickly. They're checking for pressure. There you go. Thank you, Rainbow Riders. So they're checking to make sure they have the right kind of pressure. It starts cooking the top of the fabric. And if it's not enough pressure, then they don't get enough heat to actually be able to fly. And also, of course, check for leaks. So they'll be doing that, stretching out the envelope. Once the burner check is complete, they'll lay the basket down, connect it to the envelope, and then once they get the okay from up here, they can start their inflator fans, and they will fill the envelope up with cold or ambient temperature. We call that cold packing. And then they'll light the burners up, heat the air, and that'll make the balloon stand up. And then when they get the okay from the launch director, those people with the whistles and the zebra outfits, when they get the okay and the big thumbs up, they will take to the sky. So while we get ready and move slowly towards the start of our launch here this morning, we're coming. Let me talk a little bit about a few housekeeping things. A couple of things that we would ask that you do and not do out here this morning. I already talked about the envelopes being stretched out as you wander around the field. Do not attempt to step over, and certainly don't step on any envelopes. They're also attached, as I said, to the burners with cables, and the basket's going to be attached to the truck or van with a big rope. Don't step on or over any of those. Take the few extra steps and walk around the other side. There is no smoking anywhere on the field. No smoking. I anywhere on the field. You could very easily set that down or drop an ash. Find that, lay our envelope over it, and because it's still compact, it burns not one hole, but it burns a hole through about 7 or 8 layers. And that means we don't fly today. In fact, we don't fly until we take it in for a repair. And every hole is about $450 to repair. So if you do 7 of them on the field, and if you brought man's best friend with you, you brought your puppy dog or other pet with you, please stay to the very edges of the field. We don't need them spooked by the burners and running loose or getting into any altercations with anything out here as well. So no smoking, keep your pets and all of those folks on the side edge of the field and walk around everything that is happening. You know, this is really a great place to fly, and it's a great place to watch balloons as well. It is one of the very few balloon rallies anywhere in the world where you can actually be up close and personal when a balloon is being set up and launching. We are, as balloons, federally licensed aircraft. We have registration numbers. We have to follow the same types of rules that fixed wing, that all the planes and all those types of things have to do. We've got most of the same documents. We have the same inspection requirements. There are all kinds of things that have to go along with that. Our balloon pilots have to go through ground school to be able to, and then a pilot certificate enabling us to fly a lighter than air free balloon. That's what goes on our pilot certificate. So when you put all this together, what that really means in the eyes of the FAA is that this is an air show. And this field is an active flight line. And I know being up here in Colorado Springs with the Air Force Academy, and of course the Pikes Peak Air Show a few weeks ago, big into aviation up here, you understand what I'm talking about when I say an active flight line. And you know that spectators cannot be, according to FAA regulations, on an active flight line. Well, 48 years ago, they weren't thinking about that for balloons. Here in Colorado Springs, or actually 50 years ago in Albuquerque as well. So Albuquerque and Colorado Springs are about the only 2 places that I know of. I'm sure there's others. Those are the 2 big places where spectators can still get in among all of the balloons. So you're lucky to do that. So take advantage of that and have a great time. Ask questions and ask for trading cards. Pilots, and actually me, the announcer, as well, balloon trading cards. So if you'd like to collect the cards, now would be a great time to do that, because we've got just a few minutes before we're going to start our inflator fans. So our crews, they've got an extra couple of minutes now. If you wanted to stop by and basket. Once we get a little more into the inflation, they're going to get a little busier and they won't have quite as much time for you. But now would be a great time to start your trading card collection. Are you looking for a trading card? There you go. You just got to come to me. I'm too far away from you. There you go. You got one.
Oh, I get one too.
You can have one too. There you go. There you go. You bet. Thanks for coming out. All right. You bet. There you go. There you go. You bet. I'll trade for a donut. No, you can keep the donut. You can keep the donut. Sure. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oops, sorry. There you go. You bet. Nope, yeah, I just got to reach for them. That's all. Just had to stand up and get more, that's all. You did, okay. There you go. Hey, Krispy Kreme hat. All right. There you go. You may. There you go. All right. So there's a bunch of folks off trading on their trading card quest. Again, our balloon pilots have them as well. Information booth over here. My understanding is they have some trading cards over there as well. So you might check on them to see what they have over there as well. That's me. That's me. I get these because I have as much hot air as we put in a balloon. Okay. Hey, we're about 8 minutes away from the opening of our mimosa and beer garden. My right, your left. The beer garden right off to the side. The entrance is by that inflatable Dos Equis can over there. So you can start your morning with a mimosa, a beer, or they have non-alcoholic beverages in there as well. See what our update is here from our Balloon Meister. All right, so he tells us that we are 2 minutes away from cold inflation. You're welcome. So more burner checks going on. The sun's starting to peer through around the velodrome over there. Starting to come this way. By the way, as we go through the morning, if you can't find a balloon pilot or a balloon crew member to ask questions of, feel free to come up and ask me. I'll be happy to explain it to you and to the rest of everyone else around here. Should be a great day for flying again. It's been a great day. We had media day on Friday. They had great flights. We had great flights yesterday and Sunday. Of course, this being the last day, we have our balloon flights this morning. We've got great entertainment by the Mile High Band up here after we get through with our balloons this morning. No winds of blue today. Everything kind of shuts down at 10 o'clock so that we can turn this back into its nice city park. Balloonists will have to get packed up and get on the road and get home. Many people, including myself, need to be at work in the morning. So, 6:55, that means cold inflations can start. Start your inflators. And you can see many of them are already ready. Sam Parks has got the Dos Equis balloon being inflated. I see the steampunk balloon out there. We'll try and point out these balloons and the pilots and some interesting facts about those as they get them up and get ready to fly away. Good morning. Because I didn't talk about so they're hiding everywhere. Now the question is, why are those balloons over here by the ball fields, what we kind of call the Rose Garden? Those are the Rainbow Rider balloons. So Rainbow Riders, along with Hot Apple Productions and Colorado Sports Corp, they put this entire event on. Rainbow Riders is the largest hot air balloon ride company in the world, if not in the country, if not the world. And so all of those people over there paid for a balloon ride this morning, and they're getting it checked off. So they're taking off from there, and one of the ones just happens to be the Visit Albuquerque balloon. So in addition to doing rides, Rainbow Rider also flies corporate balloons for different organizations and entities. So there's the Visit Albuquerque balloon. I can see the red side, but he's spinning that balloon using a turning vent, and when he gets around, we're going to see the green side going into red or green. State question of New Mexico. And you'll notice that those balloons are bigger, which means they have bigger baskets on them, so they can carry a lot more people. So because they're doing paid rides, they're taking off from over there. And because of the size. Will go off, and then after they're gone, the second one can get in line and go. Yeah. So yeah, the entire Rainbow Riders fleet is starting to take off from the Rose Garden, and the pilots here will tend to watch what they're doing, because what happens is we cannot steer a balloon. What we can do is we can make it go high, we can make it go low, but we can't actually steer it. There's no steering wheel or anything like that. So we'll just put the balloon at a different altitude, because winds go different directions and different speeds at different altitudes. Direction. So staying a couple hundred feet off the ground, they're just kind of moving basically right towards Prospect Lake. I'll bet. Red chili, yes. Yeah, the green and red Visit Albuquerque. The official red chili, do you want green chili? And then other people will say, well, I want Christmas, which means I want both. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you lose anything, get separated from anyone. Me here on the stage. And you can take it in there. Look at all these Rainbow Riders guys. They're all going to try and do a splash and dash in Prospect Lake. The idea behind a splash and dash is that you take the balloon and the basket right down to the surface of the water. And you don't get to the water, that's okay. Skimming along the water is great. And if you miss the other way and you go too far and your feet get wet, then it's a little embarrassing. I actually saw a great Facebook post from one of the Rainbow Riders pilots. It was, you could actually see his wake going through. Wake is kind of almost too much. But you could see where he was literally skimming the water for probably 20, 25 feet or so. Coming over. Right there, of course, is the 11 News banner. But next to that, the more red one, coming out of the heart. That balloon is called Cotty Wample. That's Mike Heffron. He's flying for Rainbow Riders, and he has the side of his basket that allows him to take. So they open the door, wheel the person in, close the door, and the door is kind of a plexiglass so that even at that reduced height, they can actually see outside the basket. So we talked about winds going down. Those that are low continue to move off to the south, southwest. But if you look up high, and not that very high, the Riders balloon has kind of stopped, and even higher, the Visit Albuquerque balloon has also stopped. He's just sitting up there spinning that balloon. The way the spinning works is that there is an opening on the side of the balloon that can be controlled by the pilot with a rope. The particular turning bit there is between the red and green sides. When they open that side, what happens is the air goes out the side. The idea is that if you rotate it like that, you get to see all the sides of the balloon. We'll see as well, right, that are going to take off the field here. First wave and played it quickly. That's good. We're talking about the baskets and the larger baskets on the Rainbow Riders balloons. With the door on it to put a wheelchair in. And the other way we do this is like you see on the Baby B, Joelle. Michael Glenn is a paraplegic and he's in a wheelchair all the time, obviously. He is the pilot of that. We call him a rolling pilot. So instead of a basket on the bottom of the B, he's got what we call a chariot. It's basically a two-seater. And so once he stands it up, he just straps himself in the chair and he flies from there. And so I'll try and make sure that you can see that. Joelle, our Baby B, skyward. Kurt Godlowski has got Remax standing up for us. Sam has Dos Equis. Michael Stinson has Xfinity Rewards standing up for us. It was Xfinity Day. The Rainbow Riders folks have put up the Colorado Springs Labor Day liftoff on Apple Productions and Sports Corp balloon. USA Colorado Springs balloon. Chris Sabia has the Wonder Balloon standing up for us. Justin Cox is standing up Evo, one of our... And I see Rich Lawhorn getting cold air into Humpty Dumpty. Beyond him, there's Bill Lee with the New Mexico True Balloon. And we have our first liftoff from the main field here. From the far southwest corner up there by VIP. The black checkerboard from this side. But as it turns, or you see the other side, you see that goes around into green and blue. Finish line, appropriate with the checkerboards there. Sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. So we will be launching from the downwind side. So that is kind of off in that corner. We'll kind of start off that way. Right behind Clayton, I see the basically all red balloon is getting in the air. Brewing balloon, piloted for us by Andrew Brindley. And of course, flying the banner for... There's Humpty Dumpty standing up now, as is the... And Andrew using that turning vent to turn that red balloon. So while that banner was going away from us, using the turning event, we now see the Atomic Cowboy, the Atomic Cowboy banner. And now he's gone up over that tree and he's going to drop it as well. Meow Wolf now standing up. Meow Wolf being flown today by Derek White. Meow Wolf, a very unique experience, expanding to locations all around the Southwest. I'm starting to hear whistles, which means our launch directors are already at work. They'll be spreading across the field. Actually, they're already assigned to different rows and different squares. I think we launched somebody out of the center here. Yep. All I can see is the basket. Can't tell you who it is. Bound 2, Alan Hahn. And a little farther off to the east, that's Eye of Enchantment. That's the yellow one, a lot of yellow. And then the other very bold colors there as well. Michael won some money in yesterday's competition. He is sponsored by Colorado Springs folks. So like I said, we're taking them off more from the southern side. So right now I have a lot of balloons standing up in front of me, making it a little more difficult for me to see, but I try and catch him as I go. And we're popping another one out of there. The white at the bottom that has kind of the stair step of the multi-blues. With Odin's Breath. Sponsored by Q1077. If you look high, you'll see the Rainbow Riders balloons. Some of them are now starting to come over the field. So we have an interesting wind pattern developing in that you actually have some steering. Stay at one level, you'll go one direction, go to a different altitude. and different directions up there already. Steampunk is airborne as well. That's the blue at the bottom, yellow at the top, with all the animal designs around the side. There's actually animal designs on Steampunk C, flown by Kevin Heinzman. There goes Remax. Remax flown by Kurt Godlewski. It's not a German, but I have one without a basket that's flying the B this morning. Yeah, it's not a German pilot, but that's one that we have without a basket. Spirit of 76, Jason Gabriel standing up over there on the far edge by the lake. Hey. Happy Labor Day to everyone. Bill Lee has in the air. Basic black with lots of bright colors and the colorful sugar stars. That's the balloon with the New Mexico Tourism Department on it. Rich Lawhorn has Humpty in the air. Can't fall off the wall if you're not up there. Humpty Dumpty sponsored by El Pomar for us. Balloon I talked about earlier that has the wheelchair equipped basket. Remember, he took off from the ballparks, kind of went south over Prospect Lake. He's gone high now across the field here, being able to give his passengers a view directly down on you. So you're being watched from high above. And there goes Meow Wolf. Derek White flying Meow Wolf. Yeah, I think we're going to see balloons just kind of hanging around. High, low. Sky full of color this morning at Labor Day liftoff. Organized by Colorado Sports Corp, Hot Apple Productions, and Rainbow Riders. There goes our Olympic City balloon. Using the turning vent to make sure that no matter where you are, you will see that Olympic City banner. He was blocking the sun nicely, although it was making it cool up here. Damian Curson is flying the one with the Rainbow Riders balloon with the Olympic City banner on it. he's basically rotated that about 360 degrees now, using that turning bent I've been talking about. And there goes the Labor Day liftoff, also operated by right in front of me on the stage is the Xfinity balloon, which is its own special shape. But then next to that is our pig, Chris. Being a pig, we call him Crispy Bacon. Justin Cox flying Evo. Evo sponsored by Krispy Kreme. Kind of off the center of the field, south center of the field. Vertical pattern of blue, pink, with light blue on the top. That's Wild Thing. Shane Richardson flying. And if you look high out there, you'll see the balloon out there. Oh, there goes Michael Glenn in Joelle the Bee. So there's a good opportunity to see that Michael's in a chair. There's actually a two-seater chair that he has on the bottom of that. There's a wave from Michael as Joelle gets here. White one that's way up there. It's kind of like that red one. You make a solid color balloon and then you can hang different sponsor banners on it, and that becomes the attracting part of it. That white one has had numerous banners on it over the years. Here at Labor Day Liftoff, it's flying a banner for Banning Lewis. And there goes Sam Parks in Dos Equis along with Michael Stinson in Xfinity Rewards. You may notice those yellow ribbons that are hanging off a few of the baskets. I saw it on Michael's chair as well. Pilots are flying those yellow ribbons in honor of the balloon is very active in the entire ballooning community. Started Rainbow Riders 42 years ago. Over Labor Day liftoff about 9 years ago. On the board of the Balloon Federation of America, on the board of directors in Albuquerque. And Rainbow Riders has operations in the entire Four Corners region of Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. Scott, unfortunately, and we're flying for him. A lot of folks that are staying low. Let's get over to the river, or to the river, over to the lake, do the splash and dash, then kind of go up high and come back around. Greg Garcia's got his elevation balloon. That's the kind of light gray with the multicolored diamonds on it. Took off from the lake. Looks like he's getting ready to drop in and try and do a splash and dash. Greg is sponsored by UC Health. Jason Gabriel's got his Spirit of 76 balloon in the sky, which is kind of to say he too is going to go for the river. Jason sponsored Chris Sabius got the Wonder Balloon in the sky off the east side of the field. Chris using his turning vent so that the always in a position where you can spot it. You know what's happening is we're seeing a box develop high going a different direction than the wind's on the ground. That means if you fly back to the north up high, you can drop down and come back to the south. So I'm seeing at least 2 Rainbow Riders balloons back around. Actually, they're all out that way. Back our way. So you're going to see them not only come by once, but some of them are going to come around the other way. Just took off from right here. Purple, orange, yellow, blue one. Suzanne Dolge in Heirloom, a family balloon. The red, white, and blue kind of checkerboard one is Rod Baca in Cruise Control. Rod is sponsored by Schmidt Construction. And Crispy Bacon looks like he's starting to try and wake up. So Evo, who took off from the far field, managed to clear, get over in the river, keep calling it the river, Prospect Lake, as is Chris Sabia with Wonder Balloon. And the second of the Rainbow Riders is making it back to make another pass on the lake. And there goes Tom Caius in the red, white, and blue balloon with the stars. That balloon is called American Dream. Tom is sponsored by G.E. Johnson, a local construction company. That's actually Tom's first balloon. He had a second balloon, which he sold. He's bought a third balloon, brand new balloon. He was telling me Friday night it finally made it to the States. It was made overseas. It made it to the States. He had hoped to be able to fly it here, but didn't get it quite in time. So he went back to his first balloon. Yeah, I see him coming back. I'm just watching for the others. Yeah. The lake side of our field. Black one with kind of the chain links going around it. That's Synchronicity. Jeff Alcazar. Balloon sponsored by Republic Services. I'm hearing lots of whistles. Let's see who's going next. I think that's Skip Howes right here, right off the stage. Seeing here a lot of heat. Yep, there it is. There's Skip. Wildfire 3. Not sure what him bouncing in the basket was about, but I think he was just excited. Skip sponsored by Colorado Springs Utilities. Skip's been doing the weather briefing for our pilots. Just like every pilot, before they take a flight in any aircraft, you need to get a weather briefing. At our pilot briefings each morning and before each flow. Pilots, the word is that second wave can start getting ready and going cold. If your square is opened up, we can start the second group. And the Pepsi football taking off from the east side. Pat Vogue. Look at that spin using that turning bank. Hilly. Yeah, and we're not talking green. So, yeah, like I said, those envelopes travel the world, and that's what happens with a lot of these special shapes and popular ones. Get shipped to different and we hire or they hire obtain a pilot that has their own bottom end basket, etc., and they'll hook it up over that basket and fly it there. Then when they're done at their event, they put it back on a plane or a ship or a container or whatever it is, and it goes off to the next location and a different pilot flies it. So they never made it. I don't know if they were going through Chile or they were here, and we miss them, but we got great folks here anyway. So they kind of snuck this one by me while I wasn't paying attention. So the red, white, and blue balloon that's in the sky over the field now has the leg of the X hanging from it. So that is the Pepsi balloon. But they're flying this round one today, the bannered one as they call it. And so that's Pat Vogue. So that's the signal to the second wave that they can go ahead. The second wave has now started. And just like all those that have just left, they will now be chasing this. Oh yeah, see as it starts to turn, you see the Pepsi banner on the side. So this is the case where a turning vent balloon, if he were to use that turning vent, he would rotate that around and we would all see the Pepsi banner. Yeah. So Pat, if you can hear us, use the turning vent because I see there's one in there. Always great to have fun with the pilots. To fly the balloons from the microphone, that's always a good thing to do, right? I think they know it's all in good fun. So I see the 5280 Flyer way over on my far left, way down there in the food corner part of our field. Credit union, green one. Humpty Dumpty is standing up. Rich Lawhorn standing up Humpty Dumpty as we come across the field. The yellow one with the kind of compass points on it, that's Jerry Graff and Lofty. Sean Spiker, center of the field, the kind of green and blue one with these wrenches and the skull in the center of the Zia symbol. That's gut-wrenching, Sean Spiker. The yellow and orange one, as I continue to come across the field, Dave Eichhorn. And there goes Tom Caius in American Dream. The red, white, and blue one with the stars at the bottom. He'll be going right over the 1-year-old almost Meow Wolf balloon. I see Chicky Boom and Uncle Sam inflating out there by VIP. The other orange, yellow, and green inflating next to Uncle Sam. That's Indecisive Neil Smith. He bought that balloon about a year ago, and it took him till like last week or so for the crew to decide what to name it, so they finally called it Indecisive. Only slightly exaggerating that time. And I see my friends Barbara Fricky, Peter Cuneo, Sandia Sunrise 2. The yellow blue one with red darts. That's the balloon I get to fly on when I get to fly. His Indecisive balloon standing up. Now I can see the banner on the Pepsi balloon as I look out past the buildings across the field. By the way, Humpty Dumpty sponsored this year by El Pomar Foundation. And Sean Spiker's Gut Wrenching, sponsored by iHeartRadio. Jerry Graft is getting Lofty in the air. Jerry is sponsored by Republic Services. I do see Clayton Couch taking finish line. Looks different depending on the angle you see it in. The consistency across the balloon are the black squares, but on the side I'm looking at, I'm kind of seeing orange and yellow. But as you move around the balloon, it becomes more blue and green as those colors just kind of change as they go around. White has now stood up Meow Wolf. This balloon was unveiled at Balloon Fiesta last year. Of course, lots of locations around the Southwest. I see Neil Smith has gotten his balloon in the sky. That was the purple, yellow, yellow, orange, and maroon one. Called Indecisive, sponsored in addition to their own Xfinity balloon. And Dave Eichhorn has Take Marauders mark. That's the yellow and orange one right out of the center of the field. Carrying the banner for health on the side of his balloon. Rich Lawhorn has in the sky. Our launch instructors must be ready for breakfast. They're launching them fast and furious now. Get airborne and fly off the field, the crews have to pack stuff up. So like the inflator fan, any tie-off lines they used, if they used the tarp, get everything back in the truck or trailer and leave the field. So you see some vehicles leaving now. There's actually been a number of them leave earlier. But they become the chase crew. And so they're going to chase the balloon. Now, there's just a little bit of a misnomer with that, because the real trick to being good chase crew is to chase the balloon until just before it lands and then get ahead of it so that you're there when it lands. Which means sometimes there's some mind reading going on. You're going to land on this road, you're going to land on that road, you're going to land over there. This field, that field, how do I get to that field? What roads do I take to get me there? Because remember, the balloon is flying basically in a straight line. It can change, but you know, they're not following roads like the chase crews have to do. Now they do have some radio, most balloons, I think everybody pretty much has radio communication. And so they can say, I'm going to land at the next road, or I'm going to go here, etc. So there is some of that communication going on. So it's still kind of a little bit of an art to be a good chase crew driver, navigator, to be there when the balloon comes down. Now, pilots can land the balloon if you're not there. All trained, certificated pilots, we can land it if you're not there. That's not a problem. But it's nice to have your crew there. Shane Shipman has set up Chicky Boom, the special shape from Carmen Miranda. A little bit of a face and the fruit around the top of the head. Chicky Boom, one of the first that ever appeared in ballooning. A couple of guys thought balloonists took themselves too seriously, and so they decided to make this fun Chicky Boom balloon. And like I said, moderned it after Carmen Miranda. Kind of stories about how they figured out how big to make the fruit and stuff like that. And so Carmen Miranda, one of the first ones, And then there's a whole story that goes with the fleet behind that. But Meow Wolf is... That all white balloon out there. For some reason we're calling it Rainbow. The story behind this balloon is really kind of interesting. They made this balloon basically white with just a little bit of black at the top and the bottom, and then they would put different banners on it. So I can remember about 3 different companies who have had their name on the side of that white balloon. And I believe it's still owned and operated by the Rainbow Riders Corporation. So if you wanted to put your name on the side of a balloon, you could put it on the side of that white one by contacting them. I do want to remind you that if you do get lost, have been separated from the rest of your folks or your stuff, the reconnection place is at the fire department exhibit setup, basically, on the other side of the field from the stage. So if you're missing somebody, can't find them, if you're missing something, or off the field, out there near the velodrome, find the fire department over there, and they'll help you reunite people, items, those types of things. So we're in the Probicron's the middle, just past the middle of our second wave of our mass ascension competition of our regular full-size balloons. Coming up in about 25 minutes or so, we'll be inflating our remote control balloons. And I believe they're going to be up on the berm over there towards the lake. We're trying to confirm that just to make sure, but as soon as we know where they are, we'll make sure that you know where they are and you can head that way. What a great crowd out here. Thanks for coming out. More whistles means another balloon going in the sky. It might just be the Holocron. That's this intricate design of black and turquoise and gold and white. Holocron, flown by Luke Van Camp and sponsored by Peak Vista Community Health. We were talking about price before. Off the shelf, no choice of colors, $40,000. You start designing something like that, the price goes up. Chicky Boom is in the air with Shane Shipman.
Did you have a question?
Right here off the stage, Keith the Catch. Flying to catch another breeze. Sponsored by Odyssey. Keith, a very efficient and effective and impressive competitor pilot. He's from Albuquerque, flies in a lot of our fun flying events there. You can always count on him to be near the top of the standings as those ratings, as those score competitions, the competition scores are posted. So the one with the big yellow band around the center, around the equator, that is Anu. Robert Duff from Albuquerque flying for El Palmar Foundation. Good morning. I do. Hey, just a reminder, the balloonists will most likely be coming back here to the field, and if some of them haven't left yet, they all have trading cards that they'd be willing to hand out to you. All you have to do is ask, and even if the balloon's gone, ask the crew, because we tend to leave the cards with the crew. And so you can get those trading cards. And I actually have my own announcer trading cards up here if you were looking for those to add to your set. Like I said, the Wings of Blue coming in at 9 o'clock this morning. Our remote control balloons about 8:30 or so. All still going. Yeah, I am. Get my squats in here, up and down. Yep. You're welcome. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. There you go. You looks like you got a start on a bunch of them there, huh? Oh yeah, so you know which ones to look for with that little information guide there. You bet you too. All righty. So they're going to send you a sunrise, the yellow, red, and blue one. And if you look at the bottom of that balloon, the blue at the bottom, you notice that goes all the way around. That's called a skirt. If you look at the other balloons, the fabric at the bottom goes all the way around. That's a scoop. That's one of those, hey, I think it works better this way, and somebody else thinks it works better the other way. You know, the Honda, Toyota, Ford, Chevy debate that goes on. And that yellow, blue, and red one is actually a home-built. Barbara Fricke, co-owner of that balloon, and I'm not sure if she's flying or if Peter's flying today. They actually built that one. That is the second balloon they've built out of 4 different balloons that they have now built in their home. There you go. I mentioned Chicky Boom earlier, the Carmen Miranda lookalike, and how those guys that built it and designed it said, you know, balloonists take themselves too seriously, so let's make this fun balloon in Chicky Boom. And then they decided that Chicky Boom was lonely and Chicky Boom needed a boyfriend. So that's when they built Uncle Sam, and you see Uncle Sam standing up over there now. And so they have Uncle Sam, and so they were kind of a deal, if you will. Uncle Sam being flown by Stuart Enlow this week for us, and sponsored by our good friends at KKTV 11 News. So, of course, when you get people together, a couple people together, then it's like they need a pet. So then they built a special shape that was Chesty, the Marine Corps Bulldog. And then they were going to have a Halloween party. So they built this big witch on a broomstick, had a spider hanging off of it, a cat hanging off of it as well, and they used it for a centerpiece for their Halloween party. And then they finally built a Russian story doll called Mataruska, as they were at the time trying to make some good friendship moves between the U.S. and Russia. And so that entire fleet of 5 balloons that they had, they flew for a number of years. I actually got a chance to fly Mataruska back in South Dakota in 1990. That tells you how long ago that was. The Russian balloon has been retired. Chicky Boom and Uncle Sam have now been donated to the Balloon Museum, the Albuquerque Anderson Abruzzo International Balloon Museum down in Albuquerque. So the Balloon Museum Foundation now flies in cooperation with Rainbow Riders, Chicky Boom and Uncle Sam. Chicky Boom flies, as you see, because that's a remake, a second envelope. Uncle Sam is still the original, built back in about 1989, 86, 87, in the late 80s, somewhere there. And I don't believe Uncle Sam is going to fly away, but you'll be able to get some great pictures while he stands up here on the ground.